Just let us know if me and Ned are ever echoing today, and we were on the headsets today.
We are live.
Perfect. It is February 16th, 2021. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Is there any additions to the agenda? Mayor Murphy?
Yeah, I know that it states that there's a mayor report and new and unfinished. I would prefer to wait till our first meeting of March to ensure that things are ratified by the county. But I do, when we get there, want to talk about the fire college. I know it's in our correspondence, but I'd like to just make a note of it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Councillor Buchwald?
Nothing, thank you.
Councillor Sisson?
No, thanks.
Councillor Rosner?
No, thanks.
And I don't have anything to add. So can I have a confirmation of the agenda, please? Mayor Murphy, could I have all in favor? Perfect, thank you. Is there any pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Seeing none, we'll move on to, are there any errors or omissions to the minutes of the committee meeting on February 2nd, 2021? Seeing none, can I have a confirmation of the minutes, please? Merv, thank you very much. All those in favor? Perfect, thank you, everyone. We do not have any delegations today. We do have two reports. I see Kevin just hopped online. So welcome to the committee meeting today, Kevin, and we'll turn to Kevin's report if everyone doesn't mind. Thank you. So go ahead there, Kevin, with your report.
Okay. Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, Saturday was our first day at the opening, so very good day. We had good with it being so cold. We had lots of kids out, so which was very good to see. Everybody was happy to get back and get going. All our previous user groups are back renting ice, so that's a good bonus. Our public skating on Sunday and Monday, it was low turnout, maybe because the weather was so nice, and that's probably the big factor on that. We did some work on in our office here, some painting, some freshening up. So while things were shut down, and we took a training course to inclusion in the workplace, which is very beneficial to everybody, and a lot of good points in it. Centennial Park was maintaining it.
Yes, hold on there 1 second, yeah. Kevin. Mayor Murphy, you had a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just before we move off the arena, Kevin, Annette, I'm not sure if you've heard from Brenda Ross Powers from Whitewater Bromley. Okay, so you and Kevin, I advised Brenda that Steve Osipenko, as the county CEMC, had reached out to our arena. So I just wanted to sort of close the gap here that they, obviously these vaccination clinics aren't going to be happening right away, but they want to be prepared for when those things drop. So I just wanted to make the rest of council aware and close that loop. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen, for the comment. Kevin, you can continue.
I guess Centennial Park will have some snow to clean off the next couple of days after this little Mother Nature. But anyways, it's been going good over there with help of the fire department giving us the odd flood in between, so it makes a big difference. The Eagle's Nest, you can probably see there where we returned some refreshments this morning, so it's a bonus. So anyways, it would have been a nicer day to load, but anyways, we'll take it. And Lori and Emma they finished up the painting at the water plant while we were shut down here, so just keep everybody going. On some new business, I got an email from the Central Junior Hockey League here. They're looking into maybe playing Aaron Pryor So anyways, I contacted our health unit this morning. They don't see an issue with it. They're within our health unit jurisdiction. So it's just in the preliminary where we're just putting some feelers out there to see, just as the Renfrew for the junior Bs will play a different team. They can still have to keep within their 50 cohort, but it'll be, if they do start playing with Arnprior, it'll be just Arnprior. So that's in the early stages of just getting things moving. Anything from the my report was pretty short. Any questions or input from council?
Yes, Annette, go ahead.
Thank you. Kevin, I just wanted to ask, I know when you were reporting about the outdoor rink at the emergency control group, we sort of discussed staying open only to the 25 and carrying on with the no sports, no netting, no hockey stick, stuff like that. So I just wondered if you were talking to neighboring municipalities and if there were any change on that forefront.
Yes, you're right. Yes, some of our neighbors have put the hockey nets back out just to, like, we're back prior to the shutdown at Christmas time, the nets were out. So now that we're in the green zone, I don't think there should be an issue putting them back out. What's council's feeling on that?
Yeah, I have, me personally, I have no issue with it, Kevin, if we're doing it prior within the green zone limitations, and if we're able to, I'd love to see nothing more than some kids playing, especially next week, supposed to be quite nice.
Yeah, for sure.
If they don't play on the ice surface, they play road hockey. They're going to play.
I was just gonna say what Brent said, though, like next week is supposed to be beautiful. So if kids want to get out with their sticks after school, then let's let them.
Maybe the school will come down and do skating or something too. I don't know. Possibly if the weather's nice, or broom ball. I know they've done that in the past, so that's out there. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of my report. We'll get going here for the next 7 weeks, hopefully, and so as it stands right now, at the end of March, we'll be removing our ice, and then that's the 28th is the last Sunday in March. So we'll have ice up until that day. That'll be our last day. Is that good to move forward?
Yes, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, what's the consensus throughout the county? Is it pretty much the same? They're going to take the ice at the end of March, or some staying longer? Do you know?
Some of them are extending a little bit, but it's up in the air, and who knows what's. Let's hope we get through the whole of March, and some of them are extending a little bit into April. But the way Easter's the first week in April, so it hits you're closed for 2 days right off the bat with Good Friday and Easter Monday. So I don't know.
No, I was just wondering what the rest of them are doing in the county. So
Yeah.
just more or less fall into the norm with the rest would probably is what I'd recommend to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna, my comment, and I'll go to Jen. I guess it would be in related to, I guess, when the postseason happens and stuff, or it's kind of one of those calls, like right now, ideally we'd want to close generally how we normally would. But if I guess the question would be if postseason goes an extra week or two, or then if we want to stay open or not, I think we'd have to have a discussion closer with, maybe a month away. But I would probably say just stay how my recommendation would just stay the normal course. And then if we get a request from the local leagues to extend, maybe that's something we could look at, because nothing would make me happier than seeing some of the kids continue or finish off their season at least.
Okay, and then maybe, and that being said, I'll inquire just to make sure that we have significant users that want to continue on too. That's the other thing.
Absolutely. That's sort of the road I was going down. But Kevin, you also indicated to us, I think, that some arenas have already pulled their ice, correct?
That's correct. Barry's Bay's already taken their ice out. Like, you know, if our neighbors Cobden are very, like, we're close, so it'll be up in the air, like, to see what everybody does, but okay, I guess we'll move on to Dana's report. She's been working on newsletters. She's putting one out in the March, or I should say the 1st of March. So she's putting information together to get things a full newsletter. She's been going to meetings with the community development group. A lot of meetings just to get things rolling for the springtime. There's really not. They're all important right now, just to stay on top of things, just to get as much government funding or grants out there that we can. As we'll take everything that we get, kind of deal. She's working on some zoning throughout the township. She has a meeting this week on the 16th with the that's pretty much it. Dana said, like, you know, I think things are quiet, so just with a report, and she's working on other zonings and that for the township.
That's perfect. Is there any questions from councillors or the mayor? Perfect. Sounds, thanks for the report there, Kevin. And it's all right sometimes if it's a little on the short end. It doesn't hurt her feelings. But no, we appreciate you coming here today, and hopefully you're enjoying the snow.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
See you. Bye-bye.
So we're on to Annette's report now. So I'll turn the floor to her.
Thank you. So similar to what Kevin was saying, I know staff and council attended some training sessions on the intercultural competency and unconscious bias, and everybody seemed to really enjoy it and get something out of it. So that was good. All the departments, the binders are here for council. If you want to pick them up, all the departments have submitted their proposed budgets for your review on Friday. And on Friday, we will be meeting at the Eagle's Nest to spread out and to go through the budget packages. And if the owl will work, we may be able to record the meeting, but we likely won't be able to live stream, but we'll see if we can get that information out. If not, everything will be recorded through minutes and through the spreadsheet for the changes that were made for the public following that meeting. Collective bargaining was successful. A new agreement has been submitted for council's approval effective January 1st, 2021 to April 30th, 2024. So that'll be coming to council today. The Roma conference was already covered by the mayor at the last meeting. And the emergency control group, of course, we did meet last week to sort of discuss the changes that went on and coming back to being in the green, the prevent zone. So that's good news. Is hopefully everybody's still maintaining their, being cautious and washing their hands and all that kind of stuff. The senior leadership team continues to meet and review cross-departmental issues and projects. Bi-monthly after each council meeting, we hold a meeting. The auditors are here. Actually, they're here right now, and they're reviewing all of the information from the township to compile the financial statements and get the FIR filed. So that's keeping Sandra hopping, and Connie as well with Generations. There is the resolution to extend patios was sent to the Alcohol and Gaming Commission. So they do have a copy of that going forward. So we'll be ready for the spring. And I think both the mayor and Dana touched on the rural mental health and additions initiative. What I meant to say there was addictions. I did not catch that. Sometimes autocorrect really screws you up. And I did not catch that in my review of the report. So, and we are assisting by managing the funding for that project and as well acting as employer. So those are two things that we're doing there. The bylaw was sent to the town of Renfrew, as well as our contribution towards the Sunshine Coach. So that allows our area to take advantage of some provincial gas tax dollars. So that's important. The off-road vehicle regulation changes. So there is a resolution coming forward to council later today, and it's there for your review.
Yes, sorry, Annette, Mayor Murphy, can you please ask your question,
Yeah,
please?
thank you. Just on the off-road, I really like this. I don't know. I know that Tim's the one that brought it forward, so he may want to speak to it. But the one place I would like this to be sent is to Roma, please.
Oh, yes, sure.
I just think that, we've talked about this and we've said this is another, rural urban divide where they're looking at us through an urban lens. And I think Roma would certainly have some things to say on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Annette, I'm just going to go to Merv here. Merv, please ask your question or comment.
Jen, have you seen the letter that just came through? I just read it quickly before I went to the council regarding we can make our own decisions on off-road vehicles.
No, when did that
To the
come?
province? Yeah, it wasn't there yesterday. It just
Merv, I think you're referring to the email Jack sent.
the email Jack sent. Yes.
Yeah, so maybe we can, maybe when we're discussing it in new and unfinished business, we can discuss it further. Jack can add us in, or we can add it for a future date so we can all review it. But no, thank you very much. And Annette, you can continue.
Okay. So on the bylaw that's coming up, being proposed for an amendment to our zoning bylaw regarding trailers and recreational vehicles, that is scheduled for today at 3:30. So that's going forward. Joint Health and Safety Committee. So they're going to be meeting on Monday. I don't have any updates from them. I don't know that Sandra has anything because they are just meeting on the Monday, but we may have something following that. I know the reps were in touch with the department heads to sort of request specific training that was required coming up. And the building report is attached here as well. And Kevin already went over Dana's report. So I don't know if there's any other questions on the administrative report.
Yes, Mayor Murphy, please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Just with regards to the zoning bylaw that's coming forward at 3:30 today, unfortunately, we do only have 2 hours for this meeting and more than 140 letters to be read. So it will be up to me chairing the meeting to manage expectations. There is no way we are going to get to our own discussion. What I will put forward at the beginning of the meeting, just so that none of council is blindsided, is that all of these letters do need to be read. That is the process under the Municipal Act, under the Planning Act, and we will have to bring this back to our table and then hold a future planning meeting. And I know that that's unfortunate. Annette has done an excellent job of managing expectations through email, saying that, normally our public meetings are 15 minutes to half an hour tops. She allotted 2 hours thinking that would be enough. There are a lot of interesting letters in this bundle, including one from MECP. So I think we're going to have to take these under advisement, digest it, because there's a lot. And I know that you guys were CC'd on many of them. You weren't CC'd on all of them. So I want to put it out there. If anybody has any suggestions for me before we get into this 3:30 meeting, I am all ears, but I will try and manage the expectations at the beginning. I know people are going to be angry and frustrated, but there's not a lot we can do when we're confined to the rules of the Planning Act and the Municipal Act. But if you guys have anything for me, please let me know.
No, I was just going to say, Jen, what you just said makes sense. And I think it makes sense. 2 hours was an appropriate allotment, and kind of moving forward is we'll just have to see how it is, but abide by what we have to follow. So any other questions for Annette, or Annette, you can continue on your report.
That was sort of it for me. So thank you very much. And I'll let you carry on with the meeting, Mr. Chair.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we're moving on to correspondence A. Is there any discussion for the e-meetings correspondence? Seeing none, so let's move on to correspondence B. Is there any discussion for any of the correspondence Bs that came in? There are several. Yes, Mayor Murphy.
Well, I don't know if anybody will have any time on their hands over the next year, but I know that the chair of the Ontario Winter Games is putting a call out for volunteers. So if you or anybody you know would like to get involved with the Ontario Winter Games, you can contact Peter Emo. He is the Reeve of Renfrew, and I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. And then is there any other comments on anything else from correspondence B?
Okay.
Yes, Annette?
And I just follow up to that and ask does council support if staff is involved volunteering in that to miss time if there are meetings for that? Is that something that this council would support or not? Just if there are members, if there's needed people for parking or for administration or stuff like that. I know in the past when they had the Renfrew County 150th, the Expo.
Expo 150.
Expo 150, thank you. When we did have Canada 150 too.
Yeah, but we didn't need Parkers.
No.
It was Expo 150 in the Dust Bowl.
Yes. So I know when county was doing the Expo 150, then we did at the previous municipality that I worked with a lot, some time for municipal employees who wanted to be involved for that initiative. So just asking if it's a similar process here, if you want me to put that out to staff or not. Just to the department heads, I would put it out.
Any comments by council? Yes, Mayor Murphy.
If I may, yeah, during Expo 150, it worked out very well. Nobody took advantage. We were able to have a booth with all the other municipalities at Expo 150. I think because this is such an enormous undertaking through the County of Renfrew and with the funding from the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, Sport, and something else, I think it's important, but I will, my internet is unstable, but I will let everybody else speak on this because they weren't involved with Expo 150.
I guess my comment on it would just be maybe more just clarification of what the ask is, maybe brought to the next meeting, and maybe just we can put on our new and unfinished for next meeting, just with kind of just more details on it. I don't think I have any problems if staff want to volunteer or whatnot, obviously, as long as it doesn't interfere with some massive municipal need, but that's common sense. But no, I welcome a discussion at the next meeting. I'm not sure if anyone else has any other comments.
I've got no problem.
Okay, so I guess yeah, so just we'll discuss a little further at the next meeting there, Annette. Is there any other anything else in correspondence B that anyone want to discuss, or it seems so we're good with that? So we'll move on to new unfinished business then. So starting out, we have the mayor's report.
Thank you. Something just occurred to me. Annette, can we just confirm that Daryl will help us speak to the idea of the boat decontamination station at our next meeting?
Yes, he will. I did speak to him about it. He was away for a couple of days there. He's back now. I've given him the information, and I have touched base with Sally and Doug to let them know that it will be March 2nd. And also trying to arrange a meeting between them and Daryl for the 18th this week, in case they want to touch base and discuss it a bit more before the 2nd.
That is great. Thank you so much. And with that, so as I said earlier, when things are ratified at the county next week, then the following week, I'll give a proper update. What I did want to talk about was something that Mayor Sweet brought up at the county. We recognize that fire is not a county initiative. It is not a responsibility of the county. However, we're all in this together. So thankfully, Mayor Sweet brought this up about the Ontario Fire College closing in Gravenhurst. As you see in correspondence, there are several resolutions asking for the Fire College to be reopened. I will tell you that this is about financial costs to the municipalities. To send a firefighter to Gravenhurst is about $65 for a week for a course. Through private enterprise, it's more like $1,500. I will let the fire chief speak to that at our next meeting because the fire chiefs have a meeting on March the 3rd about this. And what has transpired after our finance and admin committee meeting is that some of the mayors and reeves were going back to their fire chiefs and saying, what do you think? And what has come up is more that a regional approach with funding from the provincial government would actually serve us better here in the county of Renfrew than trying to send, people off to Gravenhurst that might have to use their vacation to go for a week. So more of a regional approach, whether it be, through the college or through maybe a building in Eganville that might want to be filled with something good because we're the geographic center. I'm throwing it all out there. But of course, this is all about the money. And I think the biggest thing is that we would like to know if you're not funding the college, where are those funds going? Because our firefighters are expected to be NFPA trained and trained at the same level as urban firefighters. So you can't have it both ways. Either we need training or, give us back the college. So that's sort of where we're sitting there. But again, that's a report out of finance and admin committee at the county, obviously not from our fire chief. So I'll expect that he will give us something because this really turned upside down over the last few weeks. I did not realize the college closed because of COVID last March and has not reopened, and they had no intention of reopening. So something that, it's fine if we can get something here that maybe we would pull from Lanark and pull from North Bay. I think that we can make it work as a regional approach. It's just how to get funding and where to start. So I leave that for discussion questions, probably wait until the chief is in front of us. But I did want to give you the knowledge that even though this isn't county is willing, some of us are willing to take a proactive approach. Thanks.
And then moving on to the library update. So pretty much, we did hire the CEO to replace the maternity leave for Nicolina. So the fortunate thing about the new hire will be that they have the capacity to train for 2 months prior. So it's just going to allow a good transitional period. The board is very active. They're going to be working on 50th anniversary ideas. So there's a lot of ideas put forward. And then also the really nice thing that one of the members has been working on is a brochure for new residents. So that was shared with 15 copies of the brochure were given to 3 local real estate individuals. So whenever someone moves into a new house, it's one of the documentations that they do receive. So the library board is working on other forms of ones for new residents in general. Really what that entails, and I can email it out as well. And really what it is just what services the library provides. So it's a really excellent resource, and I can forward that to everyone as well. And then moving on, there will be a letter of thanks coming from the library board because the recreational department did come in and paint for the last several weeks. So they will be receiving that shortly. But the library board truly does appreciate council allowing staff to come in and paint it. And then that's really all I have for an update right now. If there is any other questions or anything you want me to bring up, the board has been meeting quite regularly. There's a lot of things to discuss. So if there is anything ever that everyone wants to bring up, then we will. And our budget will be coming to council in the next while as well. Yes, Annette?
Just one question. Yes, I was talking to Nicolina about the budget, and I said that on Friday when we were discussing ours, I'm waiting to get a couple of dates from North Algona Wilberforce for us to set up the Zoom and do a joint budget presentation from the library. So just for committees and council's information, on Friday, I'll be looking for some dates from you. And if I receive the ones from North Algona Wilberforce before Friday, I'll email them out so you know which dates they're kind of looking at. Thank you.
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Annette. So item number 3, Horticultural Society. Is there any discussion for that? Yes, Mayor Murphy.
Thank you. As you all know, this is something we do every year. I do have a resolution on the docket for tonight. They do such an exceptional job and, in my opinion, go above and beyond. So I'm happy to pass that resolution with your agreeance this evening. Thank you.
Yep, no, I agree with what you said there, Jen. They do a lot for the community. Is there any other comments? Okay, moving on to number 4, Black History Month. The resolution will be getting brought forward. Yes, Mayor Murphy.
Annette and I would both like to apologize that this was supposed to be brought to our first meeting of February, and between the two of us, we talked about it and then we forgot about it. So we apologize, but we're going to do it tonight. Thank you. Right, Annette?
Any further discussion or? Okay. So number 5, we have the Municipal Modernization Fund intake. Number 2, any comments or discussion? Seeing none. So then number 6, we have off-road vehicles, and we had discussion. Jack, do you want to elaborate on the email, or do you want us to speak towards that on the next meeting? You're on mute, Jack, sorry.
Sorry about that, Brent. I can speak to it if you want. These are some material that I received from the OPP and forwarded on to you. It basically states about, if you go to the last document, it talks about the municipal guidance document. That's basically gives us some guidance of what they recommend we do with off-road vehicles. And if you go down to the bottom of the document, it talks about that RVs are not allowed on roads with tracks on. If you go down, it says extreme terrain vehicles, commonly referred to as Argos, are 6-wheeled off-road vehicles capable of riding in multiple terrains, including through water. These vehicles sometimes come with tracks. However, track versions are not permitted on road and are restricted to off-road use only. So I think that's where Tim's proposal was going for, to allow these on our roads, especially if they're just going to be used for being offloaded and going down to, say, because you don't have access anywhere down to the shore, you're just going to sort of back them off the edge of the highway and then drive along and go down. So in that respect, I don't think this addresses what we were hoping for it to address. But if you guys have any questions, I can clarify it on for you. But that's the way.
Yes, Mayor Murphy, and then Mayor Murphy, and then Merv.
Well, I think what Tim, this part of the resolution, to amend the regulation to permit tracked off-road vehicles in a similar manner to snowmobiles by permitting them to directly cross or in specific circumstances to travel on the non-serviced portion of some highways. I thought that was very, I don't know if you and I guess you and Tim put this together, but I thought that spoke very clearly to what Tim's intention was. But I think Tim needs to respond because I don't want to speak for him.
I agree with that.
That's right.
I agree with what you said there, Jen. It's just that if you look at this recommendation, it's in contradiction of it. So that means we need the resolution in. Because if you go to off-road vehicles, the last page for the municipal, what we received, the municipal guidance document, on the last page, it recommends not to do that, not to have these along the road. So I'm in agreement with Tim's resolution to do this.
Okay, and Merv, you did have a comment?
Yeah, well, the comment that I had was in the section that said, will be allowed by default on municipal highways under jurisdiction of municipality listed, unless the municipality has a bylaw prohibiting and restricting use of some of the such vehicles. So that says kind of, maybe it's contradictory. I didn't catch what Jack said, but read that far, but that says that they're allowed unless we disallow them. Am I interpreting that right, Jack?
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to go to the municipal, the third document that they gave us, the municipal guidance document, and that's where it says right at the bottom on the last page where it says these vehicles are not permitted. So if we're gonna want these vehicles permitted, we need a resolution to request that these vehicles are permitted. Like we're saying, in circumstances, they're not gonna be driven down the road, but if you're gonna unload them, and they're allowed to go alongside the road.
That's perfect. And Tim, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify to Merv. Yeah, this is just to kind of give the province a little kick in the keister to get them looking in the right direction, Merv, into what our needs are here in the area.
Agreed.
That's it.
I
That's
agree.
all. It's not anything else other than that. In no way, shape, or form is this resolution law or binding at the time. We're just asking the province to ease up on those regulations, basically.
Yes, Mayor Murphy.
Thank you. So all I've done, and I hope everybody's okay with this so that I don't have to have redone. I just added after and the city of Pembroke and Roma. I think that will serve us very well. And again, I get what Merv is saying and what Jack is saying, but I think this resolution speaks directly to, at no time are we suggesting that they should be on the roads, except like to allow them the same leniency that snowmobiles have in certain ways. Thank you. So if everybody's okay that I just added Roma, should I add AMO as well? Yeah, might as well, right? Okay. Adding AMO as well. Thank you.
Perfect. And then is there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, so pretty much that we do not have any closed sessions, and we'll set we have a meeting this Friday for budget. So we can pretty much adjourn the meeting, I guess. And I'll see everyone at 3:30 today. So could I just have a mover, please, to adjourn the meeting? Merv, and then Tim, and then all in favor. Perfect. Thank you very much. And I'll see everyone at 3:30 today.